Hello, everyone. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're watching God, Sex, and Love. Tonight, I'm chatting with Mr. Deonte Bolden. He is a jack of all trades, and I call him a Renaissance man. So, if you're ready to learn more about him, just stay tuned.
Work hard to figure out that I'm not the type of girl around. I'm so done with that. Looking so good. That's right. But is it worth the chance?
Welcome back to God, Sex, and Love. I am here with Mr. Deonte Bolden. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to have you here on God, Sex, and Love. Welcome, first time.
Yes, I'm excited to be here. Thank you for bringing me on here. I love the title and everything, and I'm just excited about the conversation.
Me too. I said I got to get to know this Renaissance man. He's a jack of all trades, has all kinds of things going on, and we're gonna learn all about that, I'm sure, momentarily. I know I've observed you at least for maybe at least over a year now. I want to say I came across you before the pandemic. Back when I was opening up my venue at Miracle Plays and whatnot. So I think
I
that's how
remember we were conversating because I was trying to get your perspective and trying to see if I could do a show there or something. And we crossed paths. Yes, that's been exciting. I've been watching your journey as well. You've been doing a lot of amazing things.
look, trying, man, trying to look, keep up with you. But I mean, I'm just trying to just use all my gifts and whatnot. And I see we may have that in common. So tell everybody more about you and what you have going on.
I'm Deonte Bolden. I am a filmmaker, a playwright, award-winning author, a podcaster, all around creative man of many hats. I have my own production company called Deonte Bolden Productions. I was born in Washington, D.C., raised in Virginia. Lived in Los Angeles for a few years just pursuing acting because I act as well, and just had the writing bug when I got there, been on set and had all these ideas and launched my production company, Deonte Bolden Productions, in 2018, and decided to move to Atlanta because I felt like this was a place that Black excellence can really excel. In LA, it was just like everybody was just crabs in a barrel. Not saying they're not like here in Atlanta because that's the industry, but I felt like you kind of get lost in it a little bit in LA if you're not really established. So even though my acting career was successful there, I felt like here was where I could really get into my production and stage productions and stuff like that. So in 2018, I moved here, put on my first stage production, Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places. Had 2 sold out shows in 2019. We brought it back this year in February, another great sold out show, and just been hitting the pavement, running. Published both of my books. I have called Purpose Pains. I published in 2019, right before COVID hit, because I had a brother with a disability. He passed in 2006 due to muscular dystrophy. And a lot of people see the success, but they don't understand the story behind it. So I wanted to create a book and write a book that really can inspire people that, yeah, I came from a place of depression, wanting to be suicidal. Being suicidal and wanting to end my own life. But I had got to a place so low that only God could pull me up from. And I found purpose in the midst of my pain. And I wanted to write about that. And my brother inspired my second book, Differently Able, which is a children's empowerment book that highlights children with special needs. And I've been seen on 11 Alive News, Atlanta 57 Live, and many podcasts talking about this book. So I've done a lot of creative things. I just love inspiring people. That's my passion. And I just thank God for all these multiple gifts that I have. So.
Yes. Look, I love my fellow multipreneurs, man. I can definitely relate to all of that. And congratulations, man. Congratulations on that. I know you just mentioned that some of the things were inspired, maybe didn't have the best inspiration, right? But I'm glad that you were able to push through and not only use your gifts, but allow God to, I guess, speak through you. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so thank you for that, man. Look, you got plenty of purpose out here,
Yes, I love that word though, multipreneur. I'm like, I'm gonna use that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you're doing. You're doing great and big things, man. So you said you caught the writing bug when you were on set. Is that right?
Say it again. Yes, I did.
Yeah. And so what was the, I guess like when you say that, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean?
Well, I
Like,
was actually just on set acting, and I was acting on one of my friend's productions that he was doing at the time, and he was kind of like my mentor at the time, and I was so intrigued by his creativity because he would write stuff and put it together. And we were on set one day, and I had some ideas, and I was throwing it past him, and I was telling him about the ideas, and he was like, "You know what? It's time for you to really start writing." I was like, "I don't know how to write." I was like, "That's not me," because I thought writing was so difficult. I was like, "You got to think of all this. You got to sit down and write all of this." But I didn't realize how easy it is when the creativity flows. Like I can literally write a script in a day if I sit there long enough. So he was like, "You have all these ideas, and God's about to use you, in that space." And he was like, "Just be open to the opportunity and just get in front of the laptop and write." So I actually challenged him that week and did it. And I actually wrote my first series called The Price of Fame, which I'm planning to bring back. And I literally wrote a whole season in almost a week. And it was just like the storyline flowed, and it was just it went. So he just really encouraged me because I was scared to write my ideas. I was waiting for people to put my ideas into play because I was talking about them,
mhm.
but I didn't realize that God was waiting for me to put it to use. And literally, like, I have scripts going, all over the place, and a lot of content that I have prepared because it's like I don't want to have to get ready. I want to already be ready when the opportunity presents itself. So
I understand that. And that's funny that you say that because like, when I was getting ready to, well, we were getting ready to actually log in and whatnot, I was like, okay, I guess the main thing I could just say writer because across that fits all your other things across the border. If it's the author, if it's the playwright and all of those different things. I was like, maybe I'll just say writer when I when I introduce him or something like that. But so that's amazing that you said that at one point you didn't necessarily feel like that was your calling or whatever the case was. I felt like that too. I know my mentor was telling me like, "Oh, you should, be a writer and whatnot." And I just was like, I mean, I don't know. I guess because when you know people that do stuff, right? Writers, or for me, I also knew dancers, for example. So even though I would dance, I could do choreography, but I would never call myself a dancer, if that makes sense. So I felt
right.
like the same. So when you said that just now, it just reminded me of that. I was like, oh, I was the same way. And then here I am with all these books and all this stuff. So I mean, yeah, man, you just never know like what God wanted to do with you and through you. So again,
Yeah.
congratulations, man.
Yeah, and I feel like God has a funny way of ushering you into stuff because I just really wanted to be an actor. I moved to LA because after my brother passed, I started thinking about what I really wanted to do, and I was just like, I want to go to LA. I really want to make my dreams come true, and thinking that I was just gonna go out there for acting, and then next thing you know, writing came in, and it really becomes more powerful when you become an actor and a writer because now you could create your own content and you can put yourself in your own stuff instead of waiting for someone to give you an opportunity. And I feel like so many doors have opened up for me just being a writer. People, it's a certain respect that comes with you being a writer and director because people look for you for opportunities. People want to see what you got going on, and people will put you in this powerful position because they know that you are doing something great. So
Yes, man. Look, I feel like we just right here. You say a lot. You said a lot of stuff that I say. My friend can co-sign that. Like I say a lot of the same type of stuff. Where it's like, yeah, I mean, I think that's what it came to for me. And I know I've talked about it a lot especially when I do like the daily inspiration aspect of this, which I call it the juice or whatever. And so I'm telling the people on there sometimes when I'm talking about my Bible study situation, but I also share a lot of my testimonies and whatnot. And I laugh because I pursue acting and whatnot full fledged as well. But at the same time, too, I'm like, I feel like I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I'm cool with if the Lord wants me to just make my own stuff, I'm cool with that at this point. Not that I don't want to do mainstream or do other things or do, whatever, but it's just like I feel like that's the path he's pushing me on. And it took me a while to be okay with that. You know what I mean? So now that I'm okay, I'm like, I'm good. But but yeah, I would say the same thing because yeah, at the end of the day, it's like waiting on the opportunity or creating yourself. Okay. Which one?
creating. Create your own opportunities. I always tell people, I encourage my actor friends, don't just be an actor, find other things that you do as well. Because the great thing about being a multipreneur is that you never know what door and avenue may open up for you. Like Definitely Able may open up that door for me to be able to be filmmaker, actor, writer, or it may just be putting on that stage production. You're getting your way, you're getting your name heard in different places and different spaces. And that's what I'm all about. So
yeah, and we can definitely see that. Definitely see that. So I would love to, if you would like to share more about, let's talk about the play. Let's talk about the play because you talked a little bit about the book and the inspiration for that. This is God, Sex, and Love. Not that got to get deep into it or whatever, but your show is called, or at least the show that I'm familiar with is called. I don't want to say it wrong now. Looking for Love in all the wrong
look,
places.
yes, look,
So I
yes.
know I struggled as a single person. I don't know if it has anything about do with being single, but I know I struggle as a single person. I wrote my story about that as well. So I'd love to hear what that is about.
Yeah, so Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places was a stage production that I wrote in honor of, my mother, who I love and adore. And the fact that growing up, she was just a single mother because my mom and dad divorced when I was 4 years old. And because she was a single mom, I used to see her when I would grow up. She would always, talk about how she wanted to find Mr. Right. And I would see her kind of go through the experiences. That was back in the day when we had the chat lines on the phone, and mom would go out and have dates and stuff like that. But I felt like a lot of times when we were growing up, she felt the pressure of wanting to be in a relationship because she was, older, getting older, and then because she had a child with a disability, she felt like she had to try even more. So it was started out as a letter to her to encourage her, like, Mom, don't rush it. God's gonna bless you with that special person. And then I was writing and I was like, it would be great to just channel this and put this into an actual story to kind of help so many different people, because I hear so many stories of people saying, I just want to find Mr. Right. I want to be in love. I want to find the man or woman of my dreams. Oftentimes we rush out ahead of God and we get into these relationships that are not meant for us. So Looking for Love is just a play that I wrote that is about these group of professionals. They're successful in their medical professions. They have everything that they want, but their desire is to be in love and find love. And because of that, they rush or stay in these various relationships that are not meant for them. And it really just tells a powerful story of waiting on God. And when we don't wait on God and we rush His time, and we pay the ultimate price for it. A lot of these people in this play and these different relationships, they pay the price for it because they went ahead and tried to find the man or woman of their dreams. And at the end of it, you realize that love doesn't hurt, but loving the wrong person does. I can't stand that term when people be like, love hurts. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Love is not meant to hurt. God is love. But we are meant, God, sex, and love, your show. But loving the wrong person really hurts. That's the part that really hurts, because we tend to define what love means to us, and we rush into a relationship, and we sometimes we settle for less than what we deserve because we don't truly love ourselves. And at the end of the play, it's like, love yourself first before you can truly effectively love someone else. So that's what Looking for Love in All the Wrong Places is about.
Yes. Look, people, I hope y'all y'all caught all those gems that he just dropped right there. I mean, it sounds like it must be a very powerful play there. No wonder it's so
It
sold out.
was. I'm still hearing about it now. People are writing me like, when is it coming again? And I actually was getting off the phone with one of my playwright friends who came and saw the play, and she was like, it was just amazing. And the different characters, lots of diversity. I love writing diverse characters because you want to attract a diverse audience. It's not just meant for African Americans to see this play. I want to see people of all nationalities and walks of life, because the subject really, is for people of all walks of life. So absolutely.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations on that one. That sounds like look like they say a hit. That's a hit right there.
Yes, it is.
Awesome. I hear you have movies in the works, and then I know you have your other book, Definitely Able, as well. Whatever you like to share with us at this point, because I mean, listen.
Yes. So we have a film. I do have a film coming up called The Skin I'm In, Volume 1, Melanin Melanie. I was really inspired by the fact that many people were filled with so much hate when we had this, police brutality issue during COVID. On top of that, we saw the George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, and so many different people. And I really just wanted to highlight a specific topic, and I didn't want to go from the whole perspective of talking about police brutality, even though I have a play that I wrote years ago about that I'm going to be putting out soon. But I wanted to just talk about, skin color and racism, period. And the Skin I'm in, Melanin Melanie, was a film that I wrote that really deals with the topic of colorism in our communities. I felt like people needed to hear and see racism from a different perspective. So it's about Melanie, who is a biracial woman, struggled growing up, being bullied and teased for being biracial. She struggled with accepting her own identity and pretty much suffered from identity crisis. And now that she's an adult, she is a mother now and a wife, but she still carries the trauma and pain of being abused, being biracial. So she tries to protect her daughter, who is also biracial, by teaching her how to become a colorist. And it really just deals with the topic of understanding that when we don't deal with the pain and trauma in our own life, we carry that on to a generation and our offspring and their offspring. And her daughter ends up experiencing racism from a different perspective than she thought that she would. And it's a beautiful story of learning how to embrace one's beauty and how God created them to be. So I released the trailer for that Christmas, and we're looking to do a July release and put it in film festivals. So it's part one. So it's a 3-part series that I wrote, but that's part one that I'm ready to share. So that's coming this year. And books, of course, Purpose Pains. And Definitely Able was just a book that I wrote, in honor of my brother. These 4 disabled children going into middle school. We know middle school is the most difficult time for children. And they are being bullied and teased for being disabled. King was inspired by my brother. He has muscular dystrophy. We have Majesty, who has Down syndrome. Royal, who stutters when he speaks, and Adore, who has dwarfism. And they're just trying to fit in with their peers, and they're tired and frustrated after being teased. And they write a letter to Santa because it's around Christmas time, begging to make them normal for a day. And they go on this magical journey at the North Pole, seeing life on the other side of being disabled. When they get there, though, they realize that the grass isn't always greener on the other side, and they're different because they make a difference. So this book has just inspired so many different people. We have merch for it now. I'm going around. I'm actually doing a book signing soon, a Differently Able event next month, my birthday weekend, signing books. And I'm just so intrigued by all the creative stuff that I have going on because, it's just so many powerful messages that need to be put out there. And I think God using me to be that vessel to do so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, again, man, look, congratulations on everything. It sounds amazing to me.
Yeah.
You know, man, keep on keeping on, as they say, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And
Yeah,
yes.
'cause I mean, I understand like the what you put into it as a writer too, because with everything you even just shared right now, you just shared a play, you just shared a movie, you just shared a book and everything like that, and they all have all these different stories and different characters and whatnot, and that's something I really admired about the writers that I've always come across and artists in general, where it's like you really dive in deep to create these worlds, or maybe they're in your minds and then you're writing them down. But either way, um, that's a powerful, powerful tool. Because I mean, I want to say even the stuff that I've written or whatever, it's like a lot of it is my own either testimony or something like that. But to actually create, these stories, you know what I mean, where it's like, and maybe it might have some inspiration, like you said, your brother is inspiration to one of the characters and whatnot, but still, there's still 3 other characters in there that you created and whatnot. So I mean, I think that's a beautiful thing that you're able to use that gift. And obviously, I mean, I'm sure there's way more down the pipeline. Like this is just probably the beginning for you, huh? I'm sure.
Yeah, it is, but I love it because, it really just, I get passionate about every story, every script, every book that I write, there is a powerful story that comes along with it, or else I won't write it. I write what I want to see, and I write about messages that I want to teach. The one thing I realized is being a Christian and being a creative is you don't necessarily have to consider yourself a Christian creative. God gives you messages sometimes that really can appeal to so many different people. And for me, I don't just label myself as a Christian creative. I label myself as a creator who happens to be a Christian because that's part of who I am. And I don't identify myself with being a Christian creative. I just say, I'm a Christian who creates because I feel like we're in a time now where everybody's not reading the Bible and they have to get the message somehow. Those who came to came to see looking for love in all the wrong places weren't necessarily Christians, but they got the message from it. I'm gonna give you, scripture in there that aligns within the scripts and the characters and the plot and the storyline. But I just feel like people need God in a different way, and that's what I feel like that Deonte Bolden Productions does. It just provides people with that message. Differently able is not necessarily talking about God in it, but it's talking about learning how to love one another for who they are, who God created them to be. Looking for love in all the wrong places. All things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That man, that woman will come, but you just can't rush ahead of God. So you get scripture in it, and, we talk about in the play too, God is love, so you just have to find creative ways of doing it. I thank God that he's given me the gift to be able to do that.
Yes, indeed. I feel like that is so important, so needed right now as well. Like you just said, I mean, I'm I'm about that too. Obviously, it was like,
Yes.
I know it's kind of one of those things where I don't know if you were hesitant to come, but people, I, it's a whole thing. I feel like I keep talking about this over and over again, but I just think it's very interesting because I think people think a certain thing when they see GSL, right? They see God, Sex, and Love, and they're like, they might think that that's all I talk about on here. But really, if you look at the content, we talk about everything, and I have people like yourself that are like kind of like living proof of how we can incorporate God in every aspect of our life. I think for me, that's what GSL is. It's like God should be involved in every aspect of your life, even sex, you know what I mean? Even, whatever, you know what I mean? And so I feel like with this platform, I've been able to kind of do things where it's like I'm showing how I incorporate my faith with fitness by, working with this certain gentleman that has his business is incorporated faith with fitness, for example. Like who would have ever thought, that that could be, but and so that's just another example. But I mean, yeah, I think it's very important, like you just said, getting the message out there, spreading the gospel however we can, and using our gifts to do so. I believe that's what we're supposed to be doing anyway. So again, hats off, man. I commend you. I celebrate you, bro. Like fellow artisan, fellow. I guess you would say honorary Atlantan now. You might as well say
Maybe
honorary Georgia.
so. I guess you could say
Honorary
that.
Georgia. I mean, you've been here doing things,
Yeah, thank
and
you.
everything like that. So yeah, man. Like I said, keep on keeping on. We definitely need the content out here. Christian people as well, but non-Christians as well too. So
Yes, absolutely. That's our job to do. Someone said it to me recently, and I didn't realize it because everybody's like, "You're gonna be a minister. You're gonna be a minister," and sometimes we think being a minister is just getting in the pulpit and being behind the mic. But ministry is what I'm doing. Ministering, sharing words. Sharing encouragement with people, ministering through my plays and films and books and things like that. So I think sometimes we look too deep into things when we don't realize that we're already stepping into our calling, what we're supposed to be doing. And yeah, it's truly an honor.
exactly, man. It's nothing like walking in your purpose or in doing that thing that God created you to do. Like I could tell you, like, I mean, I know you already know, but for anybody listening and watching, I tell you all the time, man, we got to get in that position and because like you say, like sometimes we think about ministry or we think about all these things and think that we, like you just said, need to be in a certain title or whatever to get things done. And it's like, not necessarily, be in your lane and do what it is that God created you to do. Maybe you may not be able to write all the plays like Mr. Bolden here, but you could be someone that write the blog, you could be somebody to write the poems, or whatever the case is, all the gifts are important and can be used by God. And I believe that he is and wants to use them as well. So yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Yes, sir. I can go on and on.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
Yes, sir. I'm so glad to have finally met you because again, again, you follow somebody or chat with somebody or whatever the case is, you never get a chance to really talk face to face and stuff at least. And so I'm glad to finally have met you.
Same
And
here. Yes, that was an honor when you were like, "Hey, you want to come on a podcast?" I was like, "Absolutely." You know, I love your energy. I love how you're so supportive because I'm supporting you, and that's what it's all about. Really, just coming together and collaborating as creatives. You're providing a space where I can come and talk about my experiences and what I'm doing, and we just we're blessing each other. So.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, tell us all where we can find you and your works and anything you want to share.
Yes, so I do have a website, www.deonteboldенproductions.com. So it's DEONTE, as in boy, OLDEN productions.com. There you'll find links to all my social media, but you can find me on Instagram at Deonte Bolden Productions. Twitter is Deonte Bolden, and Facebook is Deonte Bolden Productions as well. And I just got on TikTok, so Deonte Bolden Productions on there as well. People had to really like pull my leg to get me on TikTok because I was like, I'm not getting on another social media app. And then I'm also on Clubhouse and Deontay Bolden Productions as well. But yeah, you can purchase any of my books on my website. They're also available on Amazon. However, I refer people to my website, www.deonteboldенproductions.com, because I like to personally sign copies that people like, because people love to get their signature, put some inspirational in there. On my website as well, you can buy merch. So I have Deonte Bolden Production shirts, differently abled shirts, looking for love in all wrong places shirts. And then I'm also going to be starting a workshop soon in June, called From the Page to the Stage, where I'm providing helping people to turn their books into stage productions. I've been getting that a lot. I'm like, it's time to monetize on that and really get people, going and learn how to turn their books into stage productions. So that's going to be available on my website as well. So yeah, you can check all that out. And if you go on my social media, you can check out the trailer to the short film The Skin I'm In, Volume 1, Melanie. And yeah, so that's where you can find me.
Oh man, listen, look, start to teach the people now too. Okay, I'm not mad
Yeah.
at you. I was just about to let you go, but then I was like, wait, we got to talk about the podcast, right?
Yes. Oh, and then the Bolden Awards, I postponed that. I have my own award show as well, but that's coming as well. So the Bolden Awards. Oh yeah, the
The
Bolden
Renaissance
Awards.
man, y'all, Renaissance man.
Yeah, so the Bolden Awards is actually an award show. I got very discouraged by people who were really just not getting acknowledged for what it is that they do. Sometimes in this industry, we have so much favoritism going on in the industry. And sometimes it gets very, very frustrating because sometimes people award their friends or people that they know instead of really just acknowledging true talent. So I was like, where's the award shows at where people just acknowledge people who are truly out here making a difference and making bold moves while achieving greatness? So God was like, well, every time you ask something, it's because I'm waiting for you to do it. So I was like, I'm gonna create the Bolden Awards. So the Bolden Awards is an awards ceremony, an award show where I acknowledge people who are making bold moves in the industry while achieving greatness. And it was supposed to be October of this year, but I actually postponed it because there's more things I want to work on, and God is dealing with me to kind of get together before I actually launch it. But there's going to be 10 nomination categories. Well, I actually have 17, but I'm going to do 10 out of 17. And we just are acknowledging people in different areas who are really just out here making bold moves and making a difference and achieving greatness. And I say that many are called, but few are chosen. So we're going to be acknowledging the chosen ones. So look out for that. And then, yeah, the podcast, DNA podcast, discover, nurture, and apply God's word to our everyday lives. During COVID, when people were just shut in. I was like, I want to talk about things. There's different topics I want to talk about. And sometimes being a Christian, people give it a negative connotation. They think that we're perfect, we have it all together, but we go through things, we struggle, we're under construction, we're work in progress. And really, DNA podcast is just us talking about our personal lives, our ups and downs, our struggles, talking about various topics. And we're just showing that we're humans as well. We give godly advice and godly perspectives on different things. We're learning so much about ourselves. We're going into our second year anniversary, April 16th. So we are just an amazing, podcast. And we're streaming on Roku now on the Empower Network. They wanted to pick up our series. So we are it's me, Jazz, and Beloved, and we just have a good time while we're just talking about life. And Yeah, I love my sisters. We've become so close. So yeah, that's the podcast.
That's awesome, man. Look, I told y'all in the beginning, man, this guy right here, the Renaissance man, Mr.
Yeah, so
Deonte.
I almost forgot about all the stuff I was doing. I was like, oh yeah, the podcast, because I do so much. I always do that interviews, and they're like, talk about this, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that. Yeah.
Hey man, I'm not mad at you. I hope that you keep it all going. It all sounds amazing and great to me. Maybe hey, let me know if there's any way we can collaborate or whatever the case is. Cause I'm here. You whatever you want to do. Cause yeah, man, we got to keep this thing going. Like, you know, even if it's not necessarily Christian content, but just Christ-like content. How about that? You know what I mean? Just keep this
We have a
message.
thing too I'm doing on Instagram, and I don't know, I think we're following each other on Instagram, and I'll be hitting you up about. We have something called the Creative Corner, me and my friend Young Mike. So we might can bring you on there on Instagram. We do it every close to the weekend. Sometimes we do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It varies, and it'll be great to have you on their perspective. And we just talk about what it's like to be creative and ups and downs, what we go through with, encouraging people, and giving the do's and don'ts and how we view certain things and topics. So that'd be great to kind of collaborate on something like that, because we always welcome new people and different perspectives. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, man, like I said, I come share my testimony, whatever it is you want me to share about. I'm there, man. Just let me know, and
Awesome.
you're welcome to come back anytime as well.
Absolutely, I definitely will. Invite me back anytime. I'll be
Yeah, maybe need to get the whole DNA crew. Maybe y'all can come and talk one day.
here. If we all could get them together, because we be getting busy sometimes. So I'll talk to them, and we can all come on here and share. So
Well, you're definitely welcome to do so. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me this evening.
thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Miracle Sims, let's go.
Thank you so much for watching God, Sex, and Love, and thank you to Deonte Bolden for joining us tonight. I hope that you all enjoyed this conversation and check out all of his endeavors and everything that he has going on. And do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good night.
I'm so done with that.